Hey you, you're super. Hey YouTube, Merch Hunter Ricky here, and I just want to say thank you to all 209 of you. At the time of this video, I have 209 subscribers, so that's 209 more than I thought I would ever get. So I just want to say thank you so much for that. So going forward, I just want to let you all know that I'm going to ramp up all of my production. Like every possible facet of my videos, I want to make better for you all. So 3 more devil fruits, here we go. First up, we are going to talk about probably one of the craziest devil fruits ever, suggested to me by a commenter named Ethan, called the Adam fruit. And right away I was like, how the hell am I gonna make this work? But you know what, I went ahead and I read a favorite little comic book of mine called The Watchmen, and if you have read that, then you'll know where I'm going with this. Dr. Manhattan, baby. Let's just go straight up crazy with one of his powers, which is atomic manipulation. So right off the jump, he suggested in his comment that you could perform nuclear fission at will. Now let's just hold off on that, because that's crazy. That is wild. That can cause deadly explosions. So let's just leave that for awakening possibilities or just high level mastery of the fruit. Because what you can actually do with atomic manipulation is just so much more than that. Just from you have to go into the fruit 2 different ways. As always, I like to present different avenues and ideas for these fruits to go. So way number 1, you have around about 1/3 of Dr. Manhattan's powers. If you can only control your atoms, right, then you can start by changing your size like Ant-Man. Dr. Manhattan can do this too. You can probably speed them up, slow them down, cause yourself to become hot or cold on a crazier level than that of a paramecia that already, a couple Logias and paramecias that already exist. Furthermore, you'll probably be able to just go ahead and do crazier things in general, like phase through solid walls, or completely change the way your brain makeup works and stuff like that. I read about a ton of different articles on this fruit, and I want to be straightforward with you. I understood none of it, okay? This was very, very hard to take down because, right off the jump, there's so many different chemical reactions you can produce within your own bodily chemicals if you can only control your own atoms with this fruit, that you can start just pulling off crazy feats of strength, feats of human endurance, regeneration. You can change how much you need to sleep, how much you need to eat, how much nutrients you gain from those things. I mean, the possibilities aren't necessarily endless, but there are so many of them. Like just the general, like you would be like Caesar Clown mixed with any heat-based and ice-based Logia and Paramecia, and there's so many in the devil fruit categories, Hockey, who cares about hockey when anyone who touches you might explode, or you can create it. You might be able to explode yourself and come back from that, restitch yourself together just like Dr. Manhattan did. I mean, imagine that. But the caveat for this fruit, for sure, hands down, you have to be able to know how things work at the molecular level. Remember, the first time Luffy threw off a gum pistol, that shit sucked and he did not know what he was doing. So imagine the amount of know-how and physical endurance you have to make this fruit work. I can imagine this being a devil fruit that can actually kill the user due to physical strain and wear down. Just because certain paramecias give you the power of, a superhuman, because that's what a paramecia means, superhuman system. Just because you get that superhuman ability does not mean it'll keep you alive. It doesn't make you weaker at all, but at the same time, the strength comes at a great cost. And for a fruit like this to exist in One Piece, I feel like you would be public enemy number 1, regardless if you were good or bad. And furthermore, all devil fruits at the end of the day technically are the Adam fruit, because what do they manipulate again? What did we find out in Punk Hazard? They manipulate the lineage factor. We found this out in Whole Cake Island when Judge talked about it, you know? Lineage factor and the way that a certain scientist replicated Kaido's devil fruit. I mean, think about it. You're a person eating a fruit and all of a sudden you can shoot wax, turn into a blade, fly, turn into a bird, rotate your body like propellers, shoot magma, shoot fire, shoot ice. There's so many different devil fruits. I mean, Sudo's devil fruit is the concept of washing people and rinsing out their evil. Like, in a way, all devil fruits are the Adam fruit. However, we're sticking to the atoms themselves, right? So let's say you're a molecular restructure person, right? So if you're the Adam fruit, like way 1, you can only affect yourself and do crazy things of that nature. You can probably make it so that 1 grain of rice lasts you forever, and just like I said, the possibilities are endless. The amount of chemical reactions that you can produce just within your body, let alone, you know, like, let's say you were to just put chemicals in your body, you could probably find a way to make yourself immune to poison, make yourself immune to a lack of air, just find a way to sustain yourself off of any single organism. Like, you could probably be on the level of endurance of a tardigrade, which is a water bear, which can survive in volcanoes and in the vacuum of space. Craziness, right? Now let's go with way 2, because remember, giving a devil fruit too much or too little makes it, you know, like, it's a difference between Law and Bon Clay. So let's go ahead and go with way 2, which is you can restructure the molecules of other things. Now, there are devil fruits that already do this. Shinobu, who is the other one I'm thinking of? Shinobu can, like, ripen things, which in a way is like advanced molecular reconstruction. So let's just focus on her for a second. She can melt the floor and age it to the point where it's not a floor anymore, right? We know what she did to Momo. Spoiler alert if you don't know. You got 5 seconds to fast forward a little bit. I'll give you about a minute. Fast forward a minute and I won't be talking about it anymore. But she ages Momo up to 28, right? That's wild. That is advanced molecular reconstruction. But she can't just, like, rip people apart. You know what I mean? She can age them to death probably, and let's hope we don't see that. Just like Bonnie can age people up and down and herself up and down. With this one, with being able to change the molecules of things around you, again, heat them up, cool them down, explode them. Now this is where things would get tricky, because also you would in fact be the most powerful devil fruit on the hand, like right up there with like Law's devil fruit. Obviously, you know, Luffy's a badass, but that's because he is a badass, you know. Being able to just pop off nuclear reactions left and right, again, I'm saying you would be public enemy number 1. You would probably have less fun using this fruit than you think if you were actually in One Piece. You know, I'm talking the Germa would be up your ass, the military, the Navy, all of CP0, CP9, CP's, all of them, they'd be after you, you know? You wouldn't sleep a wink, especially if you were able to, like, look at Whitebeard. Like, Sengoku legitimately said, "This is a man with the power to destroy the world!" And in a way, he had like a super molecular reconstruction devil fruit. He could vibrate molecules to the point where he was creating sea quakes the size of entire islands, you know? That, like I said, almost all devil fruits are basically just an atom fruit, but having the ability to just go ahead and clang 2 atoms together and explode things, like, whoo, we're talking crazy nonsense here. We're talking some crazy, for sure the strongest paramecia fruit, and genuinely I think the rehab, like the body recoil on like causing a nuclear fission might just outright kill the user. That's just me. Like, again, I always say, let me know what you think about that and how you like that idea, you know? Definitely one of the craziest ideas I've ever been presented with, and you know what? I am here for that kind of stuff. Like I said, I read maybe about 25 articles solid about like molecular superpowers and how molecules work in general, and at the end of it I was like, man, I am a fum duck, which, you know, I just don't want to get blasted by the almighty YouTube algorithm. So yeah, just flip those 2 first letters around. Anyways, that was the atom fruit. Let me know what you think, please. Alright, and our next devil fruit was suggested to me by a YouTuber named Kazoo. I love the name. Also, thank you for the suggestion because it made me want cookies, because we are talking about the cookie fruit. Now let's go ahead and quickly address the elephant in the room. Cracker, Charlotte Cracker. He has the ability of a devil fruit called the biscuit fruit. And two things. Around the world outside of America, most cookies are just known as biscuits. And the second thing is Cracker had basically like cookie omnipotence, and it was up to the way he did it. It looks like he activated it by clapping. So let's go ahead and put our own twist on this fruit. So what I'm thinking of is traditional shaped cookies, not big biscuits, just little discs, little lovely sugar discs. Now let's go ahead and say that one, you produce a sugar cookie off the jump. When Cracker filled his biscuits with jelly, like, or jam or whatever he says, that just confused the crap out of me. Like, what about his devil fruit gives him that ability? So let's go ahead and say that you can ingest ingredients. Let's power number one. Sorry, this one I want cookies. So power number one. If the user ingests ingredients, they will be added to the cookies of the user. So let's say you eat a bunch of cookies and cream and now you're just an Oreo blaster. Just like kind of how Cracker did it, you can form and manipulate cookies at will. And like, you know, Tesoro from Film Gold, how he controls gold. In this way, I feel like you would be like a mix of him and Mr. 3. You can generate and control cookies. I guess kind of like Katakuri as well. Katakuri and his Mochi, he, you know, special paramecia functions nearly like a Logia. In my opinion, it's because he's really good with hockey, and moreover, he is using the 6 powers plus Kami, or Semi-Kikon. I forgot how to pronounce it in Japanese, but Life Return. Life Return allows you to control your body to the utmost efficiency, and I genuinely think that's how he was producing that Logia-like effect, in tandem with Future Sight and all that good stuff. But let's get back to talking cookies. So, power number one, ingesting ingredients affects your cookies for, let's say, a 24-hour period. You produce a typical sugar cookie at first, but if you add more cream to your body, or if you add more... Oh, you know what? Speaking of which, quick tangent. Charlotte Opera had the cream fruit. However, it was actually like a pun. He was like creme brulee, if you think about it, because he could burn. He had like access to fire, although he was cream. And I don't think sugar creates chemical burns of that nature like that. He was able to literally heat up the sugar, you know? So I genuinely think he was like a dessert fruit, which is a whole concept in and of itself, just like Baron Tamago, right? So that's why this one I'm kind of like turning you into like an easy bake oven sort of. So you yourself, let's just say you're the dough. The user is the cookie dough, and the user can shoot out cookies of any type of texture and level of cooking. So they could be cookie dough or fully baked cookies. Now that's just one way to present the power. Let's just go with one way right now, saying that the cookies you produce are fully cooked, right? So you can shoot them out like discs, and you know, if you make a super hard cookie, you're screwing people over, like you're just blasting them with cookie over and over again. And although, you know, just kind of like Streisand's food power, how he can cut things and turn it into food, it might not be good tasting. That's why I put the caveat of you ingesting ingredients. You can give yourself more cream, more sugar, raisins, what have you, make your cookies taste better, should you want to take it that route. Or you can, you know, harden your cookies. I don't know if like turning yourself into a cookie is a good idea. So that's why I said you yourself would just be like the dough of a cookie instead of an actual cookie, you know? Because one thing I always wondered is like, what happens if someone eats Katakuri in mochi form? What if there's like a cream addict that just adds opera to his giant cup of coffee? Like, are you dead? You know? I know opera was coated in cream at all times, but you get where I'm going with this, right? So let's kind of like veer away from being a Katakuri type devil fruit user, and let's just say that you can generate an unlimited amount of cookies. You can generate the cookies, and then you can ingest ingredients to change your cookies' texture and functionality. Cool things you could do is make like cookie steps, walk up them, fly on 2 cookies like a saucer. At the risk of being too much like Cracker, I guess you could make, living cookie soldiers, but like I said, I don't really like just taking a devil fruit and changing the name of it. That's just not what I'm making the series for, right? So I really think that, man, you really got me going, Kazoo. Thank you for that. I genuinely think that the caveat of making your own ingredients and eating them and changing what your makeup is for the day is just very fun. I love oatmeal raisin, for example, and oatmeal raisin cookies can be traditionally extremely hard or super squishy, right? I'm just thinking of, shooting oatmeal raisin dough on the ground, and all of a sudden, you have like almost like a quicksand like trap, or, making like a very, very, very crusty snickerdoodle cookie and just shooting it at people, and the sugar pieces are like cutting them, and like, they're getting bludgeoned by the actual like disc of the cookie. Moreover, you can generate a giant cookie and use it as a shield. You can make a cookie sword. Let's say you awaken and you can, instead of turning the environment around you into a cookie, you can turn things into cookie cutters. So you can then shoot your cookie, your cookie shapes out more effectively. This is just, a spitballed idea. Obviously, the right way to go would be to change the environment as a paramecia. Not all paramecias technically do that. However, even Kid-in-Law's awakenings, I guess I should say spoilers for anime-only watchers. So spoiler for anime-only watchers, I'm sorry. Kid-in-Law have awakenings, I apologize. But Kid's awakening, people are like, how does that change the environment? It's like, bro, you're literally affecting the magnetic course, like the magnetic field around an object or a person. That is wild. Like how he did a sign to one wall and a sign to Big Mom and made them stick to each other, Common devil fruit weaknesses for paramecia are always drain endurance, like I said, with the Atom fruit. This one, obviously, with practice, just like in My Hero, the more you use it, the less of a strain it is on your body. Furthermore, sorry, I burped a little. Furthermore, I guess it is limited to the creativity of the user. I don't think you would need to know a lot about cookies to start using this, you know what I mean? Maybe you wouldn't be given the intrinsic knowledge of eating things and it changes you for the day, but you would probably figure it out within a week of having the fruit, let's be real, because let's say you ate some hot Cheetos or something and then you're flinging like cookie Cheetos and it's just like, what is this? And then it's like, boom, now I know how my devil fruit works. Another thing you could do with this fruit is, instead of making like cookie soldiers, kind of like how Cracker did it, you could make cookie buildings. And I genuinely love that idea because, gingerbread houses, and I know there's gingerbread men, but I just kind of like the concept of the gingerbread house more. Like, how gingerbread is like a very coarse and hard cookie. Sometimes you can make it soft, but typically it's got that crunch like a ginger snap. Oh, there you go, there's another type of cookie you can make. So yeah, I just think you would kind of function along the lines of a Mr. 3, but with a slight mix of the category, because I don't think Mr. 3 can control the wax that he generates, Maybe with an awakening he could, or maybe he can only just make wax out of the area, but Mr. 3 found a way to make his devil fruit better by manipulating like a flame on his head and like melting his wax on himself and throwing it at, long distances to make it cool faster. As a cookie man, if let's say you aren't made of dough, but you just generate cookies, and you can, I guess, like you wouldn't need to turn parts of your body into cookie, and instead, like I said, make a cookie shield, make a cookie sword, make a gingerbread house, drop that shit on someone. I mean, you're gonna hurt some heads, and you're gonna rack up some dollars or berries rather on your bounty. I really like this one, especially if you are unfortunately born into the Charlotte family. Big Mom would not treat you badly. I really doubt it. I don't think that they were using katakuri to make food, but I'm sure he made a couple mochi donuts in his lifetime and ate them when he didn't have his 4 p.m. merienda, or like his nap. I really like this idea. Before we do my next one, I'm gonna go get some cookies, okay? Alright, and now this third one is one I came up with myself. So I don't really know what to name this. Help me out in the comments below. Either the bow fruit or the archer fruit. No, it probably makes more sense to call it the archer fruit, but I also like the bow fruit because regardless, I don't think that you would find two devil fruits of this nature. Now hear me out. So first things first, you can touch a material. Plastic, wood obviously would be good to start, or metal, whatever, and you can make a bow out of that substance. Now this bow is unique because it does not need a drawstring to shoot the arrows. Now, where are you going to get the arrows? With your dominant hand is what I assume you would summon the bow with, right? Holding the bow means that the devil fruit power is active. So with your other hand, you have to then touch either the same or a different type of material, and you can make a small pile of arrows. Now, with mastery of the fruit comes more arrows, different shapes, different arrowheads, different techniques of making them, what have you. It's a very cut and dry devil fruit that honestly thinking of an awakening would mean like, what, can I turn like living objects into arrows, or can I turn that building into a gigantic bow, you know? So I haven't really thought of like a concrete awakening, so if you can think of one, let me know and I'll feature it in the next video. Furthermore, if you liked my past two ideas, or if you didn't like them, if you have critique for them, let me know. So going further into this archer slash bow, let's just call it the archer for now. The archer fruit, I think, obviously, you know, just like with most devil fruits, the user has to learn to use it. This doesn't give you the ability to just hit your target for free. It's like I said, it's just creating the bow and creating the ammo for it limitlessly, almost kind of like alchemy and Full Metal Alchemist. Shout out to all my FMA fans. That was one of my first loves. So what I really like about this, sorry, I live in an apartment complex, you might hear my neighbor's music. Hopefully it spices up the video. What I think that the archer fruit would excel in is surprise ambushes, but not only that, like, I know it sounds really corny, but I always wanted to see kind of like a devil fruit circus in One Piece, not counting the filler with Law and the pet fruit and all that. I've always just wanted to see, like, you know, just a circus of performers using devil fruits on an island where they don't know what devil fruits are necessarily, because we saw in Wano that they didn't really know what they were, and I don't think that in whatever it's called, in Zou, I don't think we saw any devil fruit users, so they probably didn't really care. I don't know if they knew what devil fruits are, but you know what I mean, right? So basically what I'm trying to get at is I really think that the archer fruit would be really awesome on like a devil fruit contest or just a regular contest, and then, you know, you walk up and you're just like, bow, wham, arrows, you know, you slap the ground or whatever you do to create the arrows, and you get your bow in your hand, and then let's just say you're like Conjuro and you start missing shots, but you're actually a really good shot. Or let's say you're like Luffy and you have no clue what you're doing with your devil fruit at all. I genuinely think this fruit would have done really well in the series, regardless of giving it to Usopp or giving it to a one-time villain. Honestly, if Usopp had gotten a devil fruit like this, I genuinely think the series would have gone in a different way. He might not have gotten necessarily like a lot of hate like he does generate. Although Usopp is one of my favorite characters in the show. Like, honestly, when someone asks me who my favorite Straw Hat is, it's all of them. I like them all. As a character, Frankie supersedes everyone in the show to me, but neither here nor there. I'm just saying an archer fruit would do a lot. Let's, you know, maybe you can use Haki to actually generate heat on the tip of the arrow, or you can make a lightning bolt shaped arrow, or, you know, you pick up like super hard, like a super hard rock and make arrows out of that, but you're just proficient enough to make them continue flying, you know, just stuff like that. I genuinely think this devil fruit would have gone really far in the series. It would have made either for one hell of a villain or one hell of a Straw Hat or Straw Hat ally, you know. I know I've probably said that a lot. I just really think that this devil fruit could have done super well. What what really fascinates me about thinking of that one, not even to toot my own horn on this because I don't plan on talking about it much longer, because it's, like I said, it's cut and dry. You make a bow, you make some arrows, and you shoot them. If there was like a medieval setting island, because, you know, we have seen that most of One Piece is set in kind of like a post-medieval setting. Like, they're just a little bit past medieval, you know? Like, when we got to the Bratier, that was like some of the most civilized, that was one of the most civilized places we've seen in One Piece. When you truly think about it, with the wine glasses, and they had a working fridge on the ship and stuff like that. Just saying. What I really like about the fruit for the most part is just the amount of versatility you have with it. Because although you probably couldn't create arrows out of water, you would probably know to keep raw material on you to create the pile of arrows. Because I'm thinking even touching so much as a little twig would generate a pile of arrows for you. I don't think that making another type of way, like how I always like to do way 1 and way 2, like way 2 I was thinking you not only create the bow, but you make an unlimited supply of arrows out of like your finger or something. But then you wouldn't even need the bow, you know? So that's why I like the caveat of this fruit, because it is harder to use. Like, I always bring up Bon Clay because I think he has one of the more nuanced devil fruits in the series that I really wish we saw more of him for, because having to touch your opponent to then take their appearance and cancel it by slapping your face, I think with his left hand, that was so cool. That's exactly what I wanted in not all devil fruits going forward, but then, you know, we started getting devil fruits like Conjuros, where it just seems like it's like limitless power. Like, I don't know if he could just spawn the brush out of nowhere, because it seems like he always had it, you know? Like, maybe you just have to hold a brush like his. I really want an in-depth explanation as how his fruit works. So yeah, the bow fruit, the archer fruit. I genuinely think archer is the better name, considering you do a bow and arrow. So just let me know, guys. I really appreciate all the comments and everything. I plan on having this video up on Thursday. I'm recording it a couple days early and probably doing edits and stuff like that throughout the week to get it up on Thursday. So, like I said, I just really appreciate all the new subscribers I've been getting, all the old subscribers that have continued watching me. Every time I get a like, a comment, more views than normal, it really makes my day. It really gives me a reason to just keep pumping out these videos, because genuinely I thought I was just screaming into the void for a little bit, but it feels really good to have you all here with me, and I really appreciate that, and I hope that you find me for the next video. So have a good one. I've been Merch Hunter Ricky. You've been you, which is very super, and I just want to say thank you so much. Have a good one. And as always, like and subscribe to be part of my merch hunting tribe. And if you have any ideas, or if you want me to do some more merch related videos soon, just let me know. Thank you all. And if you want to watch another video, here's one for you.